By the end of today, you're going to know exactly what our plan is for travel for the next 6 months. In last week's video, we finished up where you saw me and Sarah in Birmingham showing the delights of that wonderful city, but it was a day later. Sarah came down with some dreaded lurgy. It's not a lurgy that begins with C or ends in D, because we've tested that, so that's good news. But she literally can't speak. In fact, I'm in a motorway services at the moment, just been to see my dad today. I called her about half an hour ago to ask how she is. The answer is I don't know, because I couldn't understand a word she was saying with her bad throat. That's kind of plays nicely into where we are at the moment. As you know, with COVID, we got the new variant of concern, Omicron, which I'm sure you, as much as us, are concerned about what that means. We don't know what the transmissibility of that is, or more importantly, the danger when transmitted. Is it going to evade vaccination? We really don't know. And is it going to result in more hospitalisation or sadly more deaths? But that did make us change our plans fairly quickly a few days ago. So I want to get into that now. Our plans are currently at the stage that we call Plan C.1. Plan 1 was that we were going to head to Cyprus, an island about 4.5 hour plane ride from the UK. An interesting island because in relatively recent history, they've had challenges where there's a Greek part of the island and a Turkish part of the island, and neither of those really respect the other nation and their reason for being there. So it's going to be an interesting place for us to go to get some insight in how the Greek and Turkish people cooperate. However, we've been tracking the news daily and weekly, and we saw that COVID wasn't looking strong there. So at that point, we decided that it probably wasn't safe or right for us to be holed up on an island where it might be difficult to move on. So that was plan A. To head to Cyprus, we're going to go to the Greek side, then up to the Turkish side, then get a boat from the Turkish side up to Turkey and work our way up the coast in Turkey to Istanbul. Cut that, not happening. Plan B was looking at the western side of the Balkans and going from the western side up into Italy and across there. Again, looking at COVID, we were getting concerned because there were certain countries there that seemed like they weren't coping with COVID as well as other areas. So we then moved on to Plan C. And Plan C is the plan, so you're going to hear it now. And just as a recap, the reason why we're telling you this is in our first 6 months of travel, we felt that it sounded like everything was smooth sailing. We're in Mexico City and we're heading from Mexico City to Querétaro and then from there to San Miguel de Allende. But actually the reality was very, very different. We wanted to go from location A to location B, but there was a challenge, so we had to change. We booked flights where we lost money. We booked accommodation where we lost money because things were changing constantly with various challenges, and that's what you're going to see when you're traveling the world. We want to tell you up front what our 6-month plan is, such that when we start going through this over the next 6 months and we have to flex from that plan, you can see with us just how complicated that is and how you work your way through to your next location, to the plan. I'll tell you the end of the plan first, because that is kind of informing us where we go. And that is 2 years ago, we had a gig booked or a concert booked in Warsaw to go to, and then we were going to a music festival in Cologne, Germany. But because of COVID, they got shelved and it didn't happen in 2020, didn't happen in 2021. Those are planned to take place in July 2022. So that's our outline where we know July 2022, we want to be in Warsaw, Poland, followed by getting to Cologne in Germany. So let's rewind from there. So where we're going to, our first location is Greece. We're going to Athens in Greece, flying directly from Manchester in the UK. When we get to Athens, we're going to spend a good amount of time there and then travel cross country to northern Greece, and that's going to be a road trip, so we're going to have probably fun and games doing that. That's not going to go straight forward, I don't believe. And we're going to get to Thessaloniki, I think that's how you pronounce it, in northern Greece and spend a week or so there. From there we're heading up to Bulgaria and we're planning to visit Sofia and Plovdiv in Bulgaria, then to Romania and to go to Bucharest, from Romania to Moldova. There's a few interesting things we want to see in Moldova actually, some really hidden things, so that should be interesting. Then from Moldova, head across Ukraine, go to Odessa, and then from Odessa to Kiev and Lviv. From Lviv, we're going to head into Poland and probably going to do a bit of southern Poland first before heading up to Warsaw for mid-July, where we're going to that concert, and then across to Cologne. So that actually takes you beyond our 6 months of travel. Told you it's going to be a short video. Sarah's not well enough to do this today, so I don't want to put her through it. But I said that this is plan C.1. When the Omicron variant hit, our next concern was our borders going to be closing down around the world. Now we've had both of our vaccinations. We've had our booster vaccination. We've had our flu vaccination. We've had our yellow fever. We've had so many vaccinations that we feel that we're as safe as we could be anywhere. We could be safe in Greece as we are in the UK or Romania or Bulgaria, come to that. So we don't feel that we're constrained by that, although we are very, very careful as we travel. But we're concerned about borders closing, either leaving the UK or getting into Greece. So what we've done is we've actually pulled our travel forward, and we're leaving 5 days earlier than we had planned. So the next challenge on that is that we don't have accommodation. We've got an Airbnb booked for a period of this. We haven't got accommodation booked at the start, and we're leaving in 2 days. That means Sarah's ill, really ill, and I don't know if she's going to be well enough to travel. Secondly, we haven't even unpacked from getting back from the US and Mexico yet. So we've got to do that. After we've unpacked, we are absolutely wedded to the idea of sharing with you all the stuff we took with us to Mexico that we just didn't need. But then we got to repack. When looking at repacking, that's been a challenge because we know we want to pack smaller than before, but we did a rail trip across the UK a couple of weeks ago with our planned packing for the next stage of travel. It was a bit of a trial, and we found it didn't work. It was smaller, but we were carrying about 6 or 7 bags and getting on and off of trains and buses. That was just too much. If this is the first video of us you've ever seen, we're slow traveling the world nomadically for the next 10 years, and we're tracking our budget every step of the way. So now will be an absolutely fantastic time for you to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. You've been watching To Go Roam.